Hi guys, and good morning. At least it is good morning for me, as it is early in the morning this Thursday when I'm recording this. And I have a very strict time schedule for this video. As you might saw on my stories, I started doing the Lurika Motoshi dress that you guys voted for and that I wanted to do for this week's video. But, well, I think I should learn from my past mistakes that I always have a lack of fabric. I'm very sorry. I mean, you read the title and it's not going to be the cloud dress that I wanted to do, but I started it and I just have to do the little pom-poms and then it should be done. So once I have the fabric, it should be a quick thing and then I will put the video out. Anyways, as it is Thursday already, I have Thursday and Friday to actually finish the video and then maybe a little bit on Saturday in the morning. So I need something that is quick. All of the options that I gave you are options that I actually want to realize in videos, so they're not an either or thing, more of a what you want first and then what next thing, so don't worry about that. I read all of your comments saying I would love to see all of them, and I very much appreciate that you said that. And that was my intention behind the polls. But anyways, I needed something that could be done quickly. That's why I went ahead and decided myself, surprise, to actually make the pants block pattern that you guys asked me for a while now, and I of course want to give you this video because it is something very important and in my opinion something that kind of has this prejudice of being really hard, like pants. Oh, you can't make pants at home because they are so hard, which is not true if you know how to do it, obviously. With that out of the way and a good cup of coffee, let's jump right into the video. Hello and welcome back to second angle camera and of course the almighty drop-down view. So I prepared new size charts. It's gonna get more and more and more. It's already 5 pages. I linked the size chart down below, the updated one, and this one includes the custom pants chart. In this page, the last page of the PDF that is linked down below, is actually the only page that we need for today's video. This is a complete pant chart with all the measurements and diagrams and charts that you need. So go ahead and download this PDF and print out the last page for your pants today. Waist circumference, hip circumference is clear. This up here, I put an additional size chart for all the sizes that we need for the pants down here in chart 7, so you can refer to whatever you need down here. Basically, those are just a few numbers that we'll need in our construction as usual. The side seam height is 106. Then the crotch line you can refer to down here. You can obviously also measure this. I'm gonna put a diagram like here somewhere, which shows you how to measure a few of these. So you can go ahead and measure instead if you do not want to use these ones down here. They should be fine though, to be honest. I've been using those for the pants of my collection and I was happy with those. One thing though, for everything that refers to sitting or crotch, I would size up just so that it'll be more comfortable if you sit actually. So I went ahead and used the sizes for size M or 38 instead. And then we'll have the knee line, which is something that you actually calculate. This is the formula right here. Then the front pant width is 1/4 of your hip minus 1. Then the back pant width is 1/4 of your hip plus 1. So fairly easy. Then down here it comes down to your design, what you actually want to have as your pants, because this is the hem circumference. So if you want to have a tighter hemline, you take between 34 to 40 centimeters. If you want to have straight leg pants, you take between 40 to 48 centimeters. And if you want to have a wider pant leg, you take 48 to 54 centimeters. Obviously, these are just numbers that you can orientate yourself at. You do not have to use them. You can use any circumference that you like. You just have to make sure that your ankle still fits through. So you can take your ankle circumference so you know what your minimum hem circumference will be. I went ahead and put 50 in here because I want to do a very straight basic pattern, which can be altered obviously for the designs that I am using this for. And then we come to a more difficult number, so the crotch angle. This comes down to the shape of your buttocks. I put 80 degrees in here because we will do a normal crotch line, which is the one you do for your pant block, because it's not small, it's not big, you know, it's just the average, I guess. That's what we are using for. And then you can refer to those 3 columns here. If you have a flatter buttocks, you use this angle. If you have a normal, I guess what is normal, but if you have not a small but also not a protruding buttock, you take the middle one. And then you have the more protruding buttocks, which is right here. If I talk about protruding or flat buttocks, this refers to the side view of your behind. So not your hip, but from the side how much your butt goes out. So if I stand like this, and you can't see anything because I'm wearing sweats, but if I stand like this, it's referring to the shape of your buttocks from the side profile. So that is something very important to consider, and that is what these names basically refer to. But you can go ahead and just use something between 80 to 85. You know the shape of your body best, and you can just choose something that is best for you. I'm gonna go ahead and take 80 degrees, so I went ahead and used this number just so that I am more comfortable in the pants, because I know I already took measurements size up, so I also went ahead and took the more protruding buttocks angle so that it plays into the bigger size up here, just for me to be more comfortable. And yeah, just prepare this with your numbers and we can go ahead and start. Okay, for the sheet of paper that we're working on, we're gonna need something that is minimum 106, or whatever your outer side seam from waistline to hem number is. I'm starting with a 106 centimeters minimum line on the left side of my paper. I'll make a point up here, somewhere on the left upper corner of my paper, and I am actually gonna angle it to the right. This is gonna be our waistline, so I'm gonna angle it just a bit. We don't need any more than that for now. This up here is our higher waistline. And then we're gonna go down 1 to 1.5 centimeters. I'm gonna go 1.5 just because I want to have a high-waisted pattern, and I'm gonna angle to the right, and this is our actual waistline. So from the higher waistline down, we'll measure our crotch line, which is in my case 26.1 centimeters. And I'm angling this to the right as well. From this point here, I measure down the knee line. So this is 32 centimeters. And I angle that to the right as well. So the difference with pant patterns to normal other garments, upper body garments, whatever, is that you're not working left side is the front and right side is the back pattern, but you're actually making your front pant pattern, and then out of your front pant pattern, you construct your back pattern. So we'll work for both patterns on one piece. So, and this is here, this is the knee line, and then from that down, it should end up in your hem. So the next thing that we're gonna do is actually to go 0 to 4 centimeters higher. And you shorten the hemline for the reason of the fit, basically, the design that you want to have in the end. The tighter the pant should be, the shorter you would make the hemline right here, but you can also skip this step and not shorten the hemline at all, and then fit it and then shorten the hemline, which is probably the best option to go here with. So I'm not gonna shorten anything right here, as I will just make the pants and see how they fit, and then go ahead and shorten whatever is needed. So next thing is that we are gonna go back to our crotch line right here and go up 1/20th of your hip circumference plus 3 centimeters. So 1/20th is something that you can easily get from this number right here, 1/2. So my 1/20th of my hip circumference is 4.9, and then I just go up 3 centimeters, so it's 7.9, and that is the number that I will go up here from my crotch line, and this is going to end up being my hip line. The next thing is that we're actually gonna define the width of the pattern right here. And for that, we use the front pant width, which is this number right here, 23.5 centimeters in my case. And we're measuring that on the hip line to the right. And we can angle this point up from the crotch line all the way to the waistline. And then here we're gonna measure 1/4 of your front pant width minus 0.5 centimeters to the right. So 5.9 centimeters minus 0.5 in my case. So that is 5.4 centimeters. I'll go right here. The next thing that we're doing is actually we are gonna measure this to this point. Oops. From here to here, which is in my case 29.25, and we're gonna have this number. So it's 14.75 right here. This is 1/2. And this number right here, so 14.75, we will also mark on our hemline, because this will be our fold line if we wanted to make tapered pants. So what that allows us to do now is to draw a parallel line from our waistline all the way down to the hemline. I'm just gonna put the number in here as well, just for me to be able to draw the line better, as my ruler is not long enough. And then also elongate this line all the way up to your higher waistline. So this is not only the fold, but this is also the grain line for your fabric, so you can draw an arrow on this line already and mark this as your grain line. Now we're gonna go to our hemline again. So it's a bunch of jumping back and forth, and I'm very sorry for that, but we're gonna go back to our hemline, and we're actually gonna measure 1/4 of our hem width minus 1 centimeter. So 1/4 of your hem width is right here, and then minus 1 centimeter. And we measure this from the middle point that we already drew right here to the left and to the right. So in my case, it's 11.5 centimeters to both sides. So, and as you can see, it's narrowing down my pant leg a little bit, which is fine because I know that 50 centimeters is a good circumference for straight pant legs. Anyways, the pant legs of my collections are 55, so just a small bit bigger basically, and they are really, really wide, but I like that. So 50 centimeters should be fine, and I'm gonna leave it like this. You need to go between 4 to 8 centimeters up from these 2 points just for the leg to sit nicely, so that you won't have any stretched fabrics on the hemline. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and mark 7 centimeters up. And now, once we've done that, we can go ahead and actually draw a line from this point that we just measured all the way up to this point up here. So that's gonna be fun, as my ruler is not long enough. But what you can do if you have 2 rulers, if they both have a 90-degree angle, you can kind of like mush them together up here and create a longer ruler, which at least gives you the starting point of this whole line. So you can just draw a line right there. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the left side with your hip point, so the start of your hip line. So the legs are done for now, at least I'm not gonna do anything more to them. Later on, you could go in here 1 centimeter to have like a nicer fit. I don't really like this. I'm not a big fan of tightening the knee line, so I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to mention it in case you want to tighten the knee lines. It's said that then the pant leg falls better. If you have a wide leg pant, it doesn't matter, like a centimeter in the circumference of 60 does not matter. So I'm not going to do this, but just if you want to. So we can go ahead and work on the upper part of the pants, because we are going to draw our curvature right here now. So what we're doing right now is that we are focusing on this point, and we are going inward between 0.5 and 1 centimeter. Now, the smaller you waist, basically, the more you go inward here. I'm just gonna go in 0.75. You go out here to the right, 0.5. So you have an angle already here. And we can go ahead and actually connect these two spots. Next thing that we're gonna do, we are going to measure this line right here. So we are on the crotch line. We're gonna measure from this point to the inner leg seam, which is 5.4 in my case, and we are going to half this number, so 2.7 in my case, and draw it up here. This is gonna give us an angle that we can use as a helping line right here. Because now what we're doing is basically drawing out the curve of the front pant leg, like this. And this line, the helping line, is just helping us ease in that curve pretty nicely. And the only thing left to do is basically making this a nice waistline. And of course, we're gonna put a dart up here. So that's the calculation we're gonna do next. Calculating the dart is kind of weird, I think, because you say how wide you want the dart to be. And for me, that's kind of funny, because in other garments, you calculate what's too big basically, and that's how you create your dart, but not in this case, because we are going to create our dart first, and from that on we decide how much we take our side seam in basically. So the dart in the front pant leg is, so front dart is always between 1.5 to 2.5 centimeters. Now I know that my difference between hip and waist is rather big, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do 2.5 centimeter already. And then you put between 0 to 0.5 centimeters fullness into the dart, so just that it sits nicer. So I'm gonna end up doing a 3 centimeter front dart. And what you do with this number right here is basically you calculate how much you take your side seam in. So we have 3 centimeter dart, and then we do 1/4 of our waistline and put 3 centimeters as the dart in there. So in my case, we have 1/4 of my waist, 16.25 plus 3 equals 19.25, and that is the amount that we will go from the center front. So this line, the angled line, is our center front, and we go all the way to the left. We actually mark that on the higher waistline. So this will be our waistline with the dart included. Because the next thing that we'll do is actually draw a nice curve from that point to down here. Should end up down here in the normal waistline. And we are going to divide from the center line of our pant, the remaining waistline, to the side seam. We're going to divide that in two, and we're going to angle it down so that it is 90 degrees to our hip line. This right here. So this down here is 90 degrees. Then we'll go 9 to 10 centimeters down. I'm gonna do 10 centimeters because I like it, and go 0.5 centimeters to the left. And this marks our dart end. And now we just go 1/2 of our dart to the left and right from this spot, and draw a line to the end of your dart down there. And this is your dart. Now, what you should do before you continue is actually measure the legs of your dart and compare them, and go up a bit if you have to. So in my case, this is longer than the other one, so I will have to accommodate for that and actually elongate the right side of the dart. Then the only thing left to do is basically draw our hip curve, and we do that by connecting our hip line in a rounded way to our side seam. And that is the completed front pant leg. So I just went ahead and prepared the back leg pattern that you need to prepare as well. I basically just traced out the front pattern onto a different sheet of paper and then marked the front grain line as well, and I highlighted it in red because it would get a bit confusing as we're gonna change the grain line for the back pant, so just so that it's easier for you. And we're gonna continue working on the back leg now. We don't need this one here at the moment, so we can put it away. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on our hip line, and we're actually gonna angle our grain line. So we're gonna go 1 to 2 centimeters to the right. I'm gonna go 2 centimeters because it is better to do 2 centimeters as the pant falls better. And then we can go ahead and draw our new grain line or fold line. This line gets elongated all the way from waist to hem, and this will be the one that we will refer to for the back pant leg. I forgot to mention, but when I traced out the front pant, I made sure to elongate the horizontal lines in my pattern to the left and right a bit longer, because the back pant leg will be wider than the front pant leg, quite a bit actually. So make sure to have enough space on the left and right side of your pant, and you should be fine. So once we've done the grain line of our back pant leg, we measure 1/4 of your back pant width, 6.4 centimeters in my case, and we go to the right from our new grain line. And this marks the point where we use our angle. So this is going to be interesting because we're going to use the crotch angle that we did before, and we're actually going to make a line from our crotch all the way up to our waistline. And for this is really important, as you have the angles right here. So this up here is your angle. In my case, it's 80 degrees. I quickly also wanted to mention that if you have a more protruding buttocks, you need to go in 0.5 to 1 centimeter to build your center back line, which is a thing that I actually am gonna do now as well. So you can just draw a parallel line right here and make this your center back, because it's just gonna give you more space. So you'll see we're gonna angle this here as well into our crotch line, and the further you put it to the left, your center back, the more you're gonna have space around your shape of your butt. That's why I actually went ahead and put the line a bit more to the left, like about a centimeter or so, because I want to have enough space. I don't want to have it like go up in my butt. And then on the other hand, obviously, if you have a flatter butt, you need to do the exact opposite. So you would do plus 1 centimeter, or 0.5 to 1 centimeter. So you would put your center back line more towards the right side. So the next thing that we're gonna do is create a new hip line, basically. So what we do for that is we're gonna angle on the center back 90 degrees to the left and measure our back pant width, so in my case 25.5, to the left until we meet the hip line. And I'm gonna draw it all the way to here, which is my back hip. The next thing that we're doing is we're gonna measure from the new side seam that we just put down to the middle of your back pant leg, which is 20.25 in my case, and we're actually gonna put that all the way to the right as well. So I got lucky there with my space. This is the same measurement from here to here to here to here. Same thing. The next thing that we'll do, we go down to our hemline, and we're actually gonna draw two parallel lines which are 2 centimeters to the right and left, obviously, from our front pant leg, and we're doing that from the knee line all the way down to the hemline. Now be careful with the hemline, as there is the parallel angle going on right here, so you can't just draw one line down. Same on the left side, we're gonna measure 2 centimeters to the left. And we can go ahead and finish the hemline already. Now from these points on, we can already draw some helping lines. We can connect the knee line to the new crotch line. And we connect the knee line to the new side seam on the hip line. And this one can be elongated all the way up to your waistline. So the next thing that we'll do is we're actually going to measure from the cross point of your waistline and the new side seam all the way down to the knee line right here. So in my case, that's around 60.25, I guess. And we are going to measure all the way up until it meets the new center back. So mine is not long enough. Make sure that the center back line is long enough. Like this. There's a few lines going on and it can be very overwhelming, but I'm just gonna highlight this line as the grain line. And this line on the right next to it is a helping line. So this point right here, from here to what we just drew, is our back waistline. So the next thing that we're gonna do, it's gonna get even more confusing. I think I'm gonna switch to a different color. We're gonna go 0.5 to 1 centimeter to the left from our center back line. So this is the same rule as in the front pant as well. The smaller your waist, the more you go to the left. I'm just gonna go ahead and do 0.75, and you can go ahead and connect this point to your new back hip line, so right there. The next thing that we're gonna do is doing the dart situation again. So this time we do the same as in the front. We just put a number to the dart. So the back dart is between 3 to 4 centimeters. I'm gonna do 3.5 for the back one, and then there's gonna be plus 0 to 0.5 fullness again. So I'm gonna do a back dart of 4 centimeters. So I'm gonna measure again 1/4 of my waistline plus this number down here, so plus 4 centimeters. So I'm gonna do 20.25, as it's 16.25 is 1/4 of my waist, plus the 4 centimeters dart, which include the fullness. So I'm gonna do 20.25, measuring from this point all the way to the left. This now tells us where our side seam is gonna be. But we're gonna put our dart right here. So what we're doing is we're gonna divide this line right here by 2. And that's pretty straightforward. The middle is where our dart sits. We're gonna angle this down 13 to 15 centimeters. I'm gonna do 15. And then we're gonna go half of our dart to the left and right respectively, and just connect both points to the end of the dart. And we can already go ahead and draw our hip curvature. This is exactly the same as in the front pant leg. We're just gonna angle it down to our hip. To draw the crotch line, we actually need to do the side seam first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the front side seam all the way to the knee line. So in my case, it's 59.5, sorry. And we're gonna just put that number all the way to the waist, and it's gonna be longer than your actual waistline that you drew. So we're gonna elongate our waistline on the back. This allows us to form our waistline right here. And then we're just gonna do exactly the same on the inner leg seam. So we're gonna measure from this point to the knee. It's 32.5 for me. So I'm just gonna put that on this line right here and mark the end. But we're gonna go even lower. We're gonna go 0.5 centimeters down. And that is where our crotch line is gonna go into. So I'm just gonna go ahead and freehand this like this. Can probably go a bit curvier down here. Something like this. We can go ahead and just smooth out the inner leg seam. And we can do the same on the outer leg seam as well. But I actually like to not go in here, but smooth this curve out. So I'm just gonna highlight this so I know when I cut this out to smooth it nicely. And then we just need to make sure that this is a 90 degree, which I also tend to go up a bit on my center back line just because it sits better. And that is our back pant leg. So I'm just gonna cut these out and then I'm gonna come back to you. So these are the two pant legs that we just drafted. So the next thing that you will have to do is just to make sure that the angles are nice and tidy. So you can see right there how this makes a nice curve on the side seam. Then also the crotch seam should be nice and curvy. And then lastly, control the side seam length. I'm just gonna do it again, as you can never be too sure, but you can see right there it's perfect. So that concludes how you construct your basic pants, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that it was clear to you what to do. If you have any questions, obviously comment down below or message me on Instagram with your problem. Just go ahead and send me pictures and whatnot and a detailed description so we can solve your problem right away. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Once you have a basic block for your pants in your size, you can actually make any pants that you like. Shorts, tapered pants, or straight leg pants, extra high-waisted, anything that you like. And I surely will do a video on a variation of pants as well. I was thinking about a slight different style than the tapered pants that I put out last video, as I can't give you the pattern for that, as you know. Something similar, maybe just normal straight leg pants that anybody can make, and then also with a waistband or something like that. Something cool but easy. You can leave me a comment down below what type of variation you would like to see, and I will also put a poll on my community tab with a few variation options that you can choose from, and then I'll be sure to make whatever you like. I hope you liked this video, and if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to always get notified when I post a new video. Also, leave me a comment down below and give this video a like. You would help me out very much, because that is the reason why my video would get recommended to other viewers who might be interested in topics that I share as well. So please go ahead and do that. Check out my community tab, check out my Instagram, please follow me there. I'll link everything down below. It's the same handle on every social media that I have. It's always at THISISKACHI. You can go ahead and follow me there on TikTok, Instagram, and so on. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye guys!
Yeah.